Hi, I'm Catherine, and welcome to my making adventure. This is a video podcast where I show all the knitting and crocheting and sewing that I have been up to lately. Thank you for joining me today. It is Saturday, April 11th, 2026, and I live here in the rural Midwest with my husband and our 3 daughters. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as my making adventures as well. My making adventure. And happy spring. We have been getting all of the rain in April and it's much needed. So we're going to choose to be grateful for it. All right, today I'm wearing my Hinterland dress that I sewed. This is not a scrappy one. And yeah, I love it. I wear it every week. I have done the bodice only placket, short sleeves. I'm pretty positive I extended the length of the bodice and the skirt, and that I brought in the shoulders and brought up the neck from the pattern for the size that I knit. I made all of those adjustments. I don't know what size it is. It's the only size that I have cut out. And I just keep on repeat making it. So this is the 3rd one I sewed, not my most recent one, which was a scrappy version, if you missed that. All right, I have finished 3 crocheted cats from the Crochet Cats pattern by Neko Yama of Mike Cafe. I'll have it. It's linked through Ravelry to the pattern. This is a free pattern on her blog, and so I just followed that. I actually originally had printed it from the blog, and it didn't have a printer friendly version, which is fine. But it also, just the way the pattern was set up wasn't working for me, so I rewrote it on a sheet of paper section by section so that is easier for me to follow. So I finished 3 of these. I have enough yarn to make a whole bunch more, at least 4 more probably. I bought Hobie cotton 8/4 yarn to make these, and I bought 7 colors. I didn't know if each one how much yardage each one would take, so I bought 2 balls of each. They're 100-gram balls, and it took 65 grams. So I'm gonna have some leftovers. I'll share a little bit about what I'm doing with some of that in a little bit, but here are the cats. They all sit up on their own. I'm really glad to have these 3 done, and I do not plan to cast on any more right now. I am content to share. These are for a friend. I'm content to share these 3 with her right now, and until I get another sweater off the needles, or at least enough progress that I feel like I'm gonna get a sweater off the needles soon, I don't plan on casting on another one of these. I have socks I want to make. I have a t-shirt I want to make. There's so much that I want to do that these are the rest of these are gonna be on hold. So, but I am happy with the 3 here that I have finished. I've tried out some different eyes, and I think that I like the pink one best so far. So in the future, I will use the pink yarn, or the style of the pink one. So yeah, I have brown, yellow, a royal blue, and a purple. And these are going to a friend tomorrow. So she'll get those at church tomorrow. So glad to have those done. And although the main color was 65 grams, they took a little bit of white. So maybe 75 grams of yarn for each one of those. I need to probably track that a little better and put it in my Ravelry project page. I'm gonna make a note to myself. right, I also finished the Scrappy Socks that I was making for my husband. And this is almost exclusively with yarn that he dyed for me or for our shop. It's all for me, you know. So here's the pair. The heels, toes, and first 5 rounds are an opal yarn that Dawn gifted to me. And then the blue, it's our blueberry colorway. The purple is a grape colorway. And this maroonish is the raspberry colorway. We have a color close to this, but a little bit more orangey. It's pretty orange. This is pretty orange, but this is a little bit redder than what we have in the shop, which is called Carrot. And we have a little bit of a darker green called Kale in the shop. So he hasn't worn these yet because he knew I wanted to show them on the podcast, but he's really looking forward to being able to wear them. And I'm really glad that they are finished. It was fun to work on something scrappy, but I really like my socks to be portable and easy to bring. And because I was changing color every 10 rounds, they ended up not being super easy to bring around because it doesn't actually take that long to knit 10 rounds of stockinette. So like almost every time I was working on them, I had to change the color. I measured my yarn usage for my own sake, which I probably didn't add to Ravelry yet, but I have on a note card here. And I have less than 1 gram of the opal left, which means I used about 15 grams across these socks of that. So that was kind of fun to have so little yarn left. It's all in here. Let me see if I can find it. It's tiny. This is, my scale can't register that. So I think it's less than 1 gram. I guess it could be just not enough that it can measure it, but I use 9 grams of the grape colorway. So 9 grams. Did I say 9? Yeah. So 4 to 5 in each sock. I think that comes out, this second stripe is in the gusset, so it probably used more. Most of the stripes use about 2 grams, like per stripe. The raspberry color is about the same as the grape. So like 5 grams overall across the socks. The green color that doesn't match. Used 9 grams. Is that, what did I just say the other ones were using? Yeah, I think I just misspoke for the raspberry. The raspberry used 9, the grape used 9, the green color used 9. The blue color that I have 3 times. I'm mathing in my head. I should have done this ahead of time. Use 13. I have 3 numbers, so that's making it harder for me to figure out which numbers I'm actually trying to figure out. So whatever I just said for the blue, 13, because there are 3 stripes on each, so that'd be like a little bit more than 12. 6 times 2 is 12. The orange one used about 9, and the yellow one used also 9. So a little bit more than 2 grams per stripe. I'm really pleased with how they came out. And I think my husband is too. So, yay! And now I have all of this yarn to put away. So, left over 8 grams of this left, 10 grams of the green left, 8 grams, 3 grams of this left, 11 grams, and 10 grams. So I could do something with some of this still. I actually have more cakes of some of these colors other places. these will just get added in with my fingering scraps bag here in a little bit. But maybe I should add all those notes to Ravelry first. I'm actually just gonna leave this out as a reminder. All right, I have also something I wanna share, like this is just gonna be like a sewing interlude. My 6-year-old daughter has been diligently working on sewing a pillowcase. We decided to sort of have like a quilted style to the front of the pillowcase, so she picked 6 different fabrics, and I had her hand stitch 2 together, and then hand stitch the next 2 together, and then hand stitch the last 2 together. And then I had her like sew 2 and 2 together, and sew 2 and 2 together. And I kind of reinforced those seams with a top stitch to sort of help it lay flatter, just because like she's 6, so her stitches weren't perfectly in line, which is totally fine. It was just like a learning experience. And she just finished stitching all 6 of those pieces together. And then what we did is I let her pick out a back fabric for the pillowcase, and we used the sewing machine to actually sew the pillowcase together. And then I added, like she chose another fabric to add to like the top of the pillowcase, so that like the part that hangs over the pillow, like the opening would be double layered, so you wouldn't see the wrong side very easily, even though it's not like lined all the way through, the edging is lined. And she said I can show a picture I have here of what she's done, but she didn't want me to actually show you the pillowcase. I'm not sure why. It's literally right there on the floor, and I really want to go get it and show you, but she asked me not to, so I won't. So she worked really, really hard on that, and then I helped her with all of it, so I thought it would be fun to show. We just finished it yesterday. She's super proud of it. And so I'm counting that as a finished object for this video. Then I was working on sewing her a dress, and I started maybe a week and a half ago, and I'm getting kind of close to finishing up, and I thought I'd be able to finish last night. But my machine is failing me. So I'm gonna tell you what's going on, and if you're a sewist and you have ideas for what I could try, that'd be great. I know only like 2 people semi-locally that I know like in person who use a sewing machine, who sew more than me, I'll say, who may have ideas for me also for what I can try, but I don't know of anybody I can take it to locally to get it looked at. It was sewing obviously perfectly yesterday, and then last night after the girls were in bed, I went to go work on it, and I was sewing up the seams of the skirt piece, and I think I got one done, like paused to do some dishes, and when I came back, every time I tried to get started, my top thread would break. And so I'd rethread the needle, and if I tried again, it would just break again. And I like took out the bobbin, made sure everything was right, I put it back in, I rethreaded the machine, got it all set up, and it wouldn't work. So I like looked at YouTube, and I was like, maybe your needle is bent. So I put on a new needle, and that didn't solve the problem. I don't think it's that I have the wrong needle, because like I already sewed half the dress with this needle. And then one of the other ideas was maybe your thread's too old, but I already sewed half the dress with this thread. It's not that old. It's not like 20-year-old thread. I do have some of that. I saved that for hand stitching though. So I loosely tried like taking some parts off of my machine and looking and seeing, but I'm not really able to fully take it apart. I don't have the tools, I don't have the skills, and I don't want to break it more. So I couldn't figure out what was going on. Maybe somebody else has an idea. I don't think that the tension has been adjusted since I sewed all the bodice and sleeves and everything. So, I mean, I double checked that the tension was the same. I'm just not sure what's happening. It is like now knotting, not just breaking. So yeah, it got put away because I needed a clean space, but I was really hoping to finish the dress and then put it away because I sew right here at this desk. So it cannot stay out all of the time, which is sad for me. Sorry if my voice sounds funny or if I'm sniffly. I have been sick. My baby is still sick. She's got the worst of it, so, but I'm doing a lot better. So I really wanted to share all of the things, and really I wanted to see if anybody has any input for my sewing machine. So I'm sure it's like, my mom got it for me for my graduation present from high school. I'm sure it's like, way back in the day, it was like $100, maybe $150 machine from Joann's. So it's not like priceless, but it's what I have. So I'd like it to work. And I'm not in a position to upgrade, even though getting it repaired, I feel like might be more than the machine is worth. I'm not really in a position to upgrade to a nicer machine at this point. So I'd like to be able to figure out how to fix it, even if I have to take it to a repair shop. But I probably have to travel to the big city for that, and that's a ways away. All right, that's it for sewing. Back to knitting, I think, is all I have left. So the cats were crocheted, but the rest of my projects are knit. I'm not talking anymore about the 4 points blanket. I haven't done anything more with that. I do plan on just like casting on the 80 stitches and knitting another one of the triangles like I have, and then seaming them together. But I just have other things going on that we're taking priority right now. So I have made some progress on my storm sweater. This is a pattern by Petite Knit. I am reclaiming this yarn from some sweaters I purchased at our library. And that the reclaiming of the yarn has been a whole process in and of itself, including it's double knit. So there's like 2 strands knit together originally. So once I ripped out the sweater, now I'm having to like undo the double knit aspect of it because I'm using 2 different sweaters to make this one sweater. And so I'm taking 1 strand from each sweater. This is also double knit. So here is my storm sweater by Petite Knit. I am almost done with the 3rd section under the arm. There are only 4 sections charted for under the arm. I suspect I will need at least 6 sections. But right now, I think I plan to just knit 4, put it on tubing, and do the sleeves, I think is my plan. These are the 2 yarns that I'm using. This was one sweater, this was another sweater, and so I'm holding them together. I do think it would be good to block it again before I decide how long to make the body. So if I put the body on hold and knit a sleeve, then I might knit the collar first, but knit the collar, knit a sleeve, then block it, and that will also help me judge how long the sleeve should be and how much longer the body should be. That's typically what I do. I have mostly been enjoying this, although the yarn doesn't like slide around on my needles very well. And so, I mean, it is a lot of, I'm always like moving the yarn around, and that doesn't make it like quite as seamless as sometimes. But I am eager to, and knitting the body, the rounds are so long. I'm eager to, I think a sleeve will be enjoyable. I'm hoping that a sleeve will be enjoyable. So there's that one. I did use the chart on that for my newest cast on. But first, this is the Finest Kind sweater that I'm knitting for my husband. This pattern is by Alicia Plummer. I don't think I'm attached to any yarn. I finished my first skein of yarn and I blocked it. I think I blocked it. I measured it at least. Whether or not I blocked it, I am unsure at this moment. Looks blocked. I know I've blocked part of this at one point and I can't tell. I don't see a block to unblock mine, so I'm guessing I blocked it all. And then I measured it to see if I'm ready, and I think I'm ready to split the front and back. This is bottom up, so I have like the ribbing and all of the bottom done. I'm ready to split for front and back. I am really anxious. I've never done bottom up before, so I'm really anxious about if it's the right time, if I know that my gauge isn't perfect. And so I'm anxious about if it will work if I just follow the pattern, and I've just decided I'm gonna follow the pattern, and if it doesn't work the first time, I'll rip back and figure out a way to adjust it. This knits up super fast. I'm using US 8 needles for the main body. I think 6 was for the ribbing, and Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool in the brown heather. So this, I felt like just flies. It's like a 4-row repeat, and I love the texture. It's really easy to read my knitting and figure out what to do next. So the only reason I haven't made any progress is I need to attach yarn and I need to figure out what to do next, because now I'll be knitting flat. And so getting to that point where I'm ready to knit flat is like the hold up, You have to start knitting flat after a certain row. So I have to compare to the pattern again instead of just going with what I know. So I'm expecting to pick up this more in the coming week or two, especially since I'm finished with the cats, and because my storm sweater right now, my focus is on getting yarn prepped. This is back to my storm sweater. Like, this ball of yarn is still 2-stranded, and so I'll have to, and I have like 8 balls of yarn like this still that I have to split, and that takes a lot. So that's what I have to do for my storm sweater next. All right, then my new cast on is a pair of socks, and this is from my, well, those 2 sweaters are both 12 cast ons, and then this is also like a 12 cast on journey. I'm knitting 4 pairs of socks, 1 for each of my siblings that are still like kids living at home, still youngins. So this is the second pair that I'm making. I'm making them each a pair near their birthday. This is for my sister who's in middle school. And I cast on 56 stitches for her, and I added a pearl texture. I hope that that shows up in the lighting. It's just a little chevron, and I stole like half the diamond pattern from the storm sweater, and I did it twice. So the chevron is like pearl knit pearl, like going vertically, so that it's like a little bit of a thicker chevron than if I had just done it once. On the storm sweater, it's the diamond pattern is only 1 pearl bump thick, but I thought like for a fingering weight, it would be nice if it was a little bit thicker. So that's what I did there. I'm not sure I explained it well, but the repeats, like the stitch or the pattern, the number of stitches that the diamond pattern is works for a 56 stitch sock, So I didn't have to adjust it in that way at all. I just adjusted it by like making it double thick. I finished the first sock and I've cast on the second, and I'm ready to actually do the heel flap on the second one. This one already has that chevron detail. I'm doing them kind of short because they'll be like summery, spring and summery socks. And so, yeah, I decided having like the little extra chevron would be a fun way since they're already shorty socks. And these are knit in our yarn that my husband dyed in the grape colorway, Concord grape colorway. So yeah, heel flap, and then the foot will be smooth sailing because it's just stockinette. I love a vanilla sock that doesn't require a lot of thought. I think I did 67 rows for the foot in those before doing a rounded toe. All right, those are my whips. I do have one thing I am planning to cast on this week that I thought I'd share with you. I am in a Telegram group for mystery knit-alongs that Shauna from Shauna Stitches hosts with Neil. I don't know his information, which is bad on me. And there's a Telegram group. Shauna posts a lot of stuff once the mystery part of the knit-alongs are over on her channel, and they also have like a YouTube channel where they like do weekly updates on mystery projects. I'm not a big mystery knitter, but the next mystery knit-along that people in the group are participating in is the Beary Cozy Gnome mystery knit-along by Schira, and I've decided to make a gnome. I thought it would be fun and not too intense, and I have all that extra cotton yarn that I bought for the cats that I thought would work for a gnome. And I was having trouble deciding what colors to make up until somebody in the group said that they were going more like Care Bear theme than Woodlands Bear. And so I've decided to use these 3 colors for my bear. I think if I'm right, oh, I don't remember. I think this is color 1, which is like the contrast color. Color 2 is your main bear color. So this one I've already made a cat out of. You saw that. This is the leftovers from that cat. This one is still a full skein, but I have another full skein that I can make a cat out of. It's supposed to only take about 20 grams of each color. This is a little bit thicker than a traditional merino fingering weight yarn. See? Hold on. These say they're 50-gram balls, in which case those cats only took like 25 grams of yarn. Why do I have trouble with that? Because I really thought I had looked at one recently that said 100 grams. Thought in my head they were 50-gram balls, and that's why I ordered 2. And then I thought I looked at one tag that said 100 grams. And I was like, I guess they're 100 grams. It says 100% cotton, so maybe I got mixed up on that. I don't know. This 50 grams has 174 yards, which would be like 350 yards, which is like a thicker fingering weight. So my only thing that I'm still sort of deciding, but I think I've kind of made a decision, is what size needle to use. I'm actually probably should just buy some needles, but I don't want to. My US ones are maybe what I should go with. But those are Addy Rockets. And I just don't know that they're gonna be as nice for that small circumference knitting. So I should maybe try these. My US 2s, I have some US 2 Chowgoos, and they work with my interchangeable sets too. So I have like 2 different US 2 options I could use. I have US 1s and I have US 0s. My 0s are what I use for socks. So I thought I probably don't want that small because this yarn is definitely thicker and less stretchy than a merino. So I was hoping I could get away with using the 2s just because the cord makes that small circumference. That chow glue cord makes that small circumference knitting so much easier. And these Addy Rockets these are Addy Square. And I'm not sure that the square needles are gonna actually allow me to get much of a tighter gauge than the 2s I would get with the 2s. I'll just put them both in the bag for now. And we will see what I end up deciding to do. It said to go smaller than what the tag of your yarn recommended. And the tag of this yarn recommends a US 2 or a US 3. So maybe I should start with the ones. I was planning to start with the 2s and change if I need to, but maybe I should plan to start with the 1s and only change if I need to. Which, if I need to, might include. It's just too difficult to knit. All right, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm hoping that like participating in that mystery knit along will bring me some joy during a little period of time that's going to be extra stressful for me, but without taking too much of my time. So hopefully it's not too challenging or frustrating. But since I'm using yarn I already had, I just bought the pattern. There was a sale on the pattern too, so I think the pattern was under $5. So it wasn't a huge investment for me. That's all right. All right. I think I did actually also, when I finished this cat, I made a scrunchie with the leftover yarn. And it's in my daughter's hair. Maybe I'll try to take a picture and pop it in here. I had forgotten about that. Amy of Noble Character Crafts makes these like 20-minute crocheted scrunchies, and I decided to finally try it. I've always said, I should try that, I should try that, I should try that. And I was like, I could just do it right now. You crochet around a hair tie, and then you do like a really rapid increase round so that you get like a scrunchy look from just a regular hair tie style. And yeah, so I used some of the leftover yarn from this to crochet that scrunchie. I thought if I liked it that I would make some more and share it with some friends, especially since I have all that extra cotton yarn, but I didn't enjoy it enough. It's intended to be, I'll link it, the blog that has the scrunchie pattern as well. I'll link that below. But it's intended for worsted weight, and I used this like fingering / sport weight cotton yarn, and that's probably part of why I didn't enjoy it, but mostly I didn't enjoy wearing it. So I don't feel like making a bunch if I myself am not going to enjoy wearing it. My daughter's enjoying it, so if at some point in the future she wants another one, I probably would do that for her. But when you knit it with sport weight yarn, it definitely takes more than 20 minutes, which is okay. But it was still a fun little quick project that I think I did in a day. So yeah, that's a bonus because I forgot to share about that earlier. I think that's all. I'm like looking around. I think that's all. And I think it's only been a couple weeks since my previous episode, like my podcast one. So let's see what I can get up to in the next couple weeks. Thanks for joining me. If you have tips for my sewing machine, let me know down below. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave those below too. Thank you for watching. God bless.